It won't take me long. I'm a man of few words most of the time. These kids will probably think differently, but really happy for these kids in this community and all the kids and coaches that have been a part of this, whether they're part of this football team this year. I appreciate the work that all the kids and coaches have done for me since I've been the head coach at Ruston. It's been a long process and a tough one, and it all pays off tonight. And I can't be happier for these kids. And it's been a long journey for me personally, but God has been good to me and these kids, and they deserve it.
Question.
Jerrod, first of all, congratulations. I wrote a number of times this year that I felt like the biggest key for this team, if they were going to win a state championship, was whether the young man sitting to your left could throw the football accurately when you lined up against a team that slowed you down on the run. Talk a little bit about the job that Josh did tonight. I thought especially in the second half in that first drive, you guys kind of opened it up, and he made some big plays through the air.
Well, I think that's something that's been a progressive growth process through the year, but it's something that we knew Josh was capable of doing. When we put game plans together, offensively, defensively, and special teams, we want it all to work together to win ball games. A lot of times through the year, it's not necessarily the fanciest of game plans, and not necessarily nowadays what everybody likes to see. Everybody likes you to throw the ball around and score a bunch of points and all that, and we just like to win. And so we do whatever's necessary, and Josh absolutely made the plays that we needed to have in the second half. And it took a while. Zachary had a good plan, and we had to regroup at halftime, kind of do some different things. And our kids just take coaching, and they're selfless in the respect that they want to do whatever we need to do to come out with more points than the other team.
Question.
Coach, it's been a long time coming for Ruston fans, since 1990, the last time the Bearcats won a state championship. Just what does this mean for the program? I know how hungry was this team to get back after falling just short of a state championship last year?
Well, I think the team from last year accomplished so many different things for our football program in the respect that, we accomplished some things that hadn't been done at Ruston in a long time, just getting back to the state championship. And, you ask somebody from Ruston, it's been a long time since we've beaten West Monroe, and you pile all of that on a bunch of kids, and they had their set of accomplishments. But I think, part of what made this group comfortable coming back was the fact that they had already been here. So they knew the trip, and we changed up a few things because they had been here. And, I challenged them in January, put a lot of pressure on them, probably too much pressure at times. And I think they felt that early in the season. But they just kept on coming back to work every week and doing the things necessary to put themselves in a position to have the opportunity that we had tonight. And it's like Jadon said out there, sitting there a while ago, he said, he was really nervous going into the ball game last year, and then all of a sudden it looked like, we're running around out there, it's a familiar place, and it was just another ball game. And that's due to the effect that the team last year had. And, I think for our football program, the expectations that everybody, in particular you guys, y'all start naming state champions whenever, this will be over, and then come January, y'all will put somebody else in there, and that's tough on kids to live up to the expectations that everybody has. But I do think that was the next step for our football program, is to have those expectations, be able to go out and prove it each week, and put yourself in a position to be where we are now. And that's a statement for them and a statement for our football program and our community, and I'm pleased with it.
Question.
Coach, when you look at the running game, Zachary talked about they came in wanting to stop the run. What made the running game so successful this year? Start with the buffet busters up front.
Well, I think our kids are willing for, again, to do whatever's necessary. I think that ball games are won up front, whether it be offensively and defensively in the lines, and I think our kids understand that. I think they're gritty. I don't know what everybody else does, but our kids come to work every day and they're willing to stick their nose in there, and a lot of people just aren't. And So running the football is something that we hang our hat on, but it's not all we can do. And I think that that's a lot of, everybody else may be surprised that we can throw the ball around a little bit, and we know huddle and catch people off guard, but that's something that we do and we work on, and we can do it whenever we have to.
Question.
Hey, Coach, I noticed you were very teary-eyed after you guys had officially clinched. What were your first immediate thoughts that came to mind?
I was doing pretty good until my mama come running out there, and then that kind of got me, and I know everybody can understand that. I was holding it together and trying to hold it back, and seeing her, and just kind of personally some of the things that I've gone through. It will have been 10 years since I thought I was going to have to get out of coaching, made some mistakes, and it's been a long journey for me to get past those things and to make my way back through. And I think, I talk about all the work that these kids put in, but it's been a lot of work for me personally to try to make sure that I'm doing the things that I need to do in order to lead these young men the way that they deserve. And I'm just really so happy for them and our community.
Question.
Coach, first off, congratulations to you and your team on a great effort tonight, winning the championship. Concluding the banner weekend, fourth title for North Louisiana. Talk about the progression of all the programs out there, especially yours. You guys haven't won it since the 90s. Talk about the progression of football in North Louisiana. 4 titles this weekend, you guys.
I think so, and the thing about Louisiana is, I spent 15 years coaching in East Texas, and they try to talk about that that's the best football around, and I beg to differ a little bit about that, and we take pride in Louisiana football, and I'm a Louisiana guy, and so we take pride in Louisiana, and then we take pride in North Louisiana, and I'm happy for those football teams that were able to travel down. There's a little bit of travel difference too, whenever you're trying to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to prepare and planning trips and all of that. It throws a little kink in things, but we're very happy to be playing in the Superdome. Since I was a kid, that was something that we always looked at and wanted to do. But very happy for the other teams that won from North Louisiana also.
Question.
Hey, Coach, in the second half, a big theme was the deep pass. What did you see from Zachary's defense in the first half to go to the deep pass in the second half?
I don't think it was necessarily anything we saw from the first half. I think it was something that we had in the game plan, and I thought the coaches did really good. I thought that they were really piling in on the run on first down, and the coaches, we talked about it at halftime, and it was some things that was already in the game plan, and we executed those things whenever we needed to.
Question.
Coach, this is for you, but Jadon, I'd also like you to jump in after he's done. Aiden Anding joins this team this year after not playing on last year's team. He gets the task of covering Trey Green, and he has a punt return for a touchdown. There's not a lot of kids, I think, can join this caliber of team and make that big of a difference. Can you talk about the role he played and how big he was this season for you guys? And then you too, Jadon.
I can tell you this, I've never seen a kid stay out of football for.
Come back to you.
He had not played at all in high school. He played in junior high, and he's been a starter on our basketball team since he was a freshman. And for a kid to come out in spring football and look like he's been out there the whole time, you just don't see that a lot. And the skill set that he's got, he can do a lot of different things. I think you saw he missed a pass. It may have been like a few inches overthrown. So we plugged him in there on the offense some. Had a couple other things that we didn't make it to run, but he's just a really dynamic player. And the thing is that I know these kids can tell you about, and a lot of people, like you see him run around returning punts and covering the best receiver they had and all of that. But he's a team leader and a really hard worker, and his addition to our team has been. It's really helped kind of gel our football team together, and anytime you can bring a really good football player in that's a really good worker and one of the hardest workers on your football team, it's always going to help.
Jake,
My question.
can I get Jake real quick too?
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, ain't just a dog,
Hey, he just a dog. You know, you can't train that. You know, he just came on the team. It was a brotherhood. I knew him outside of football, and he just came. And like Coach said, in the offseason, he gelled. He worked hard. He was one of the first players to cross the line when we running and pushing his hard. You know, he just had the mindset. It's just something you can't train. He's just one of those players that just, you know, he's gonna get it done no matter what.
Following to your response, and Jadon, who's also a basketball player, what does it mean for you guys when you see an athlete from another sport come to y'all sport and also help y'all win?
Well, when somebody comes out from another sport and come in, you know, we try to treat them with like brotherhood. You know, we bring them into the culture and you see what they can do. You know, he added a piece to this defense that we needed and offense. You know, he added multiple. He was a vocal leader and he was just other things. You know, I really respect him and others that came from other sports and come on the football team and help us win the championship.
Okay, this is my question to Josh. Last week we talked about you winning the semis for your birthday, and then you wanted to end this movie script coming into the state championship. Take me back to before you scored that last touchdown. What was that moment like to deliver that touchdown?
Well, so basically, I just saw it, man. I told Coach, stop laughing. I told Coach on the sideline, I was like, hey Coach, ain't nobody flowing with me. So it was a timeout. They watched it, and just like that, it opened up, and they let me keep it, and it was a touchdown.
Question for the players. I just want to know how it feels to be a part of the team back here, to be a part of the team that finally has done it for Ruston. I mean, you guys weren't even born last time Ruston was winning the state title. What does it mean to you guys to be a part of this team that finally was able to do it?
It's a great feeling, you know. It means a lot knowing that we have trained hard and put in countless hours and time up there. You know, it's like a second home. We up there like every single day. You know, it's a great feeling. Ultimately, like it all paid off, and I'm just proud to say I'm with this team that we made our name as a state champion, 2023 state champion.
It really hadn't sunk in yet, but like I could feel it around me. Like just being out there, being able to celebrate with me and my teammates. I know it really meant a lot to them. So, I mean, it is what it is. Going down in history.
Question.
Hey, Josh, your dad, John, coaching at Centenary and coaching at Tech years ago, how special was it after the game to be able to hug him and share these memories with him this season?
Well, he always told me from jump that he believed in me. There was a lot of people going into the season that doubted me, and he was one of those people that I always was in my ear, come on, you got it, Josh, you got it, Josh, don't let me get down on you. And just like that, he told me he saw this happening, and my grandpa really played a big part in my life, and he always told me, just do it for your grandpa, do it for your grandpa. So when we got down there, when I backed towards the end zone, I was thinking in my head that whole time, do it for your grandpa, do it for your grandpa. And I just like started running hard, and then I told him that. He was like, that's what I'm talking about, son, that's what I'm talking about. And it was just one of those moments that I always remember.
Question.
Coach and Josh, I want to ask you this. Got late and everything in the game, things got tight, and Josh wound up taking over. Whose decision was it? Was it you, Coach, or did Josh come up to you and say, hey, Coach, I want the ball, I want to carry this team?
I don't think he really has to say it verbally. I think we can. I think we know that your best playmakers want to be there to make the plays, and Josh has been that for us. I think we really turned the corner offensively and put a finger on what things we needed to do in the second half of the Neville game, particularly the end of the ball game in week 5. And we started integrating a lot of quarterback run stuff after that, and I think that has been a big part of our offense, and he's had to do that several times this year. So I think it's just one thing, you kind of wear somebody down a little bit, and then anytime your quarterback can run the football, it adds a dynamic to it. You can add another person to your running game scheme, and it was a big deal. And he's a big physical kid, so he's hard to bring down, and people get tired of tackling him. And I can't say enough about these kids.
Question.
Coach, in Jadon's final game as a Bearcat, 12 tackles, 2.5 sacks. I mean, just talk about the legacy of him and just kind of what he's going to be, when he leaves this program, what's going to be missing, you feel like?
I hate you brought that up because, you know, every year I've been able to say the best thing about Jadon was that he was going to be coming back. And so I was hoping you were going to say, like, they've allowed him to come back one more year. Jadon has allowed us to do a lot of different things defensively that you just don't see a lot of kids be able to do. You know, we've played a lot of 3-down defensive line look tonight, but you can add him to the front to make it a four-down look, or he can pop back in coverage, play a regular linebacker spot. He just makes it to where you can do so many different things defensively that's hard to game plan for, you know, and guys are changing personnel groupings and that kind of stuff, and they'll look out there and you only have a 3-down look, so they think that they can catch you in the running game, and they're not allowed to just because of the things that he can do. And you know, he adds a dynamic to what we have been able to do the last 3 years defensively. And we'll try to find somebody else to plug in into that spot. And of course, it ain't gonna be the same, but you know, this ain't his last ball game. He'll have an opportunity to go play some college football, and I'll be happy to be watching him on Saturdays.
Second and last question.
Josh, this is for you. So those are around the program have known that you were coming. This big kid, he's physical, he can throw the football, but I don't think you've been asked to do what you were asked to do tonight with your arm. How did that feel, knowing in the second half that you had to step up and really make some plays in this game?
Well, when they told us that at halftime, I look at all the receivers and they were just sitting there smiling. I was like, well, they finally done cut us loose, boys. It's time to show them what we can do. And we just got out there and started making plays. And once those plays started being made, it was just, it like flipped the switch, a click came on, and we just kept going.
Last question, Coach.
Jerrod, you're up 24-17. They drive down, get inside the 5-yard line, have 4th and goal. Just talk a little bit about that entire sequence. I think there was about 7 minutes left in the ball game. I know there's still some ball game left, but you guys were able to keep them out of the end zone and keep that touchdown lead.
It was very, very big, and there were a couple of big points there at the end. You know, we've leaned on our defense quite a bit throughout the season. You know, we had a lot of inexperienced offensive guys, skill guys in particular, starting the year, and really put our defense in some bad spots early on. And they were kind of used to having their back to the wall, and you know, they made the plays when they had to. And I was really pleased. Offense gets back out there, we're able to run some clock, and that was a big deal there. And we don't have any problem. I mean, it turns into a game plan situation where we're able to milk some clock. We get out there, we do run out of downs, have to put the defense back out there. But that's the kind of thing that we've been doing all year. You know, and if you had some selfish players, you'd be like, why aren't we doing this or that and the other? But I think they grew to where they understood what the thinking was behind what we were trying to do as a team. And that it's not just an offensive game or a defensive game or special teams, that it all has to work together, and they trust each other. And I think that is the biggest part of that.
All right, last 2 comments from the players. Very briefly, turn to this man and tell him what you think of him as a coach.
Remember, there's people in the room.
I just want to say, I appreciate you, Coach. It's been a long 4 years, you know, them stadiums and punishment, you know, I just appreciate you for everything you've done for me on and off the field. You made me a better player on and off the field, and I will never, ever, ever regret that. I just really appreciate you, and I love you, man.
Well, Coach Baugh, you know, you're my dog, you know, and I just really appreciate the way you trust me to go out here and make plays for the team, and the impact you played on my life is like big. I ain't gonna lie to you. You always there for somebody if you need them. Not even just me and my teammates. You always there for us. I mean, if we need something, we can ask you, and you right there. So I really just want to thank you and tell you how much I appreciate you.
Coach, you have a final word.
Well, for me, winning a state championship is up there. But I guess I'm getting old. Because to hear kids relay that to me means because the state championship, that's nice, and I'm proud that that's gonna be a part of the legacy at Ruston. But part of me personally, I'm kind of selfish in this respect, in that I love these boys, and I want what's best for them down the road. And I hope that I have been a small piece of what it is that has built what it is that they're about whenever they graduate and move on and start families and get jobs. And I hope that I've had a small piece of their life, and appreciate their parents for trusting them with me. And it ain't always easy. It ain't always, my decisions that I make ain't always popular. But at the end of the day, I think they all do trust me enough to understand that I'm trying to do what's best for them and teach them some hard lessons sometimes. And I appreciate them for allowing me to have an impact on their life, and know that it ain't just the 4 years that you at Ruston, it's always if they need something.
Coach, you came into the Superdome tonight as a finalist, you're leaving as a state champion. Congratulations.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.